Okay, question number 15. The graph of a differentiable function f is shown above. If h of x equals this, which of the following is true? All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start off with what they give us here. So let's go ahead and compute h of 6. So if I have h of 6, this is going to end up being 0 to 6 for f of t dt. Now, the way that I can figure this out here is I can go on ahead and figure out what is the area going to be. So if I go from 0 all the way to 6, it's going to be all of this area here. Now I know that this is negative area, so I don't really need to know like the entire, like what the actual sum is, but I'll just say it's got to be negative, right? Okay, now let's go ahead and, what is h prime of 6? So well, first let's compute h prime of x. So actually here, let me go ahead and rewrite that. So I'm going to take the derivative of both sides here. And whenever I do that, using the fundamental theorem of calculus, I now have that h prime of x equals f of x. And if that is the case, then all I have to do is plug in 6 for x, and I now have f of 6. And if I want to figure out what f of 6 is, then all I have to do is I have to go over here and look at 6 and then figure out what is the y value, and the y value is 0. So this equals 0. Okay, so the last thing I want is to figure out what is that second derivative. So if I go over here and I take the derivative of my first derivative, so I take the derivative of both sides, I will end up with h double prime of x equals f prime of x. And then if I want to plug in 6, then I just have h double prime of 6 equals f prime of 6. Now let me go to f prime of 6 and figure out what, or I should say, let me go to 6 and see what that's going to look like. So 6 is located right here. And if I want f prime, I want the derivative, or the instantaneous rate of change, aka the slope. So if I look at the slope here, I will see that it is a positive slope, and therefore it is a positive value. So given all of this information, if I go from a negative value to 0 to a positive value, as I go from h of 6 to h prime of 6 to h double prime of 6, it logically follows that the largest value is going to be the positive one, the medium is going to be 0, and the smallest is going to be the negative value. So therefore, the correct answer is going to be A. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.